good afternoon. It's the 2nd of February. My name is Steve, and welcome to my new channel, Devils in Red 59. How are you all feeling from the game yesterday where we beat Fulham 3-2? I think it was a fantastic game. Um, Obviously, we got the two goals in the first half, which made us feel quite comfortable. And then, obviously, in the second half, Fulham came back in, made a few substitutions, and obviously come back to make it 2-2. So it was a bit nail biting towards the end. But I think Michael Carrick's substitutions, bringing Sesko on when he did. He was very unlucky, Sesko was, with his very first touch of the ball, where the ball came across and he headed it and he hit the post and went out. So he was very unlucky not to have scored on that occasion. But in the end, the team worked hard. Sesko got himself into a good position and he got us that winning goal, which was very important. So that's 3 games in a row for Michael Carrick, which is great. It's good for the players, it's good for Michael Carrick, and obviously it's good for us as supporters. And obviously, with Aston Villa dropping points, losing 1-0, and Man City, I believe, drew. So obviously they've dropped points. We're now 5 points behind Aston Villa and 6 points behind Manchester City. So if we can continue on the way we're going, picking up these wins, we could be in a situation if Man City and Villa drop another game or couple of games where we could be fighting for third and second, which nobody would have believed earlier in the season, for what we've had up till then, really. So yeah, great shout out to Carrick for what he's done and the way the players have performed and that. I mean, what do you actually think Michael Carrick's done to get these players performing the way they are? I mean, I know different people have said about the light switch players and they could turn it on and turn it off, but we've had 3 real good results. Beating Man City and then beating Arsenal the way we did. But we had to be very cautious coming into the Fulham game because obviously that's where we've struggled against the lower sides, obviously with the likes of, Bournemouth and Everton and so forth. So we had to come into it with some caution. But as I say, the lad's done really well. Carrick and his coaching staff, Steve Holland, actually seem to have got into the players where they need to be and what they need to be doing. And obviously they're doing that and we've picked up that third win. So I think Michael Carrick has actually sat down with the players from the day he come in and sort of said, well, look, what's the problem? You're all decent players. You all play for your national countries, etc. Um, and he's found out from them, why they're not happy because you can see it on the players' faces at times under Amrin and Ten Hag, where the players were wandering around, no smiles, no high fives, and this, that, and the other. But it's now come back, which is nice to see because that's the Man United way. High five, smiling, urging each other on. I mean, I noticed yesterday when Sesko come on and Fulham had a corner, Maguire actually put his arm round Sesko and said something to him, and I think he said to him, get yourself forward and prove to everybody you're the player that we know you are. And I think that's exactly what he's done. So it was nice to see people like Michael Carrick, taking the younger players on and maybe giving them a bit of advice and encouragement to push them on. Fantastic. And obviously, from the meetings that obviously the players have had with Michael Carrick, um, they've obviously raised concerns about how they've been training maybe in the past and what they'd like to see in the future. Certainly, wanted to play more in their natural positions. Uh, Bruno, he done a job in midfield, but obviously we were exposed over a lot of games because Bruno's got the tendency to want to wander. But as a number 10, he's up there where it counts. And, since he's been playing as a number 10, a couple of games for Fletcher and obviously the games we've had under Michael Carrick, he's shown why he's world class and obviously playing at number 10. And the experience Bruno can sort of imply into the younger players like Ahmad and Cunha and Mbumu, and up to when Dorgu got injured, which is very sad, like because he was just coming to his own uh, with the hamstring injury, which I believe he's going to be out for about 10 weeks. But nevertheless, we have got players that can fill in there. I mean, obviously, Mason Mount hasn't been playing a lot just lately, but he's quite a left-sided natural player. Cunha can play on the left-hand side. Ahmad can obviously play on the left-hand side. So, we have got cover there to tide us over in that area. And in reference to the strikers, Sesko, I think he will now come good because I think he's scored 4 goals in his last 4 games. And that's only going to get better with confidence. And if we continue to play the way we are, confidence will drive him on and, show everybody that he can do it. And he's not 70 odd million pounds worth of player that's not going to score enough goals or contribute towards the team itself. So, well done to Sesko. But as I say, apart from Sesko, you've got Cunha that can play as a 9. You've got Mbumo that can play as a 9. You've got Mount and Bruno and probably Ahmed that can play as a false 9. Albeit you don't really want to have to go down the route of playing false 9s. And I don't think we will have to with the other cover we got, providing that these players can keep themselves injury free. So that's good news. And in respect of our midfield, obviously Kobe Mainu, he's got 3 games under his belt, or is it 4 games? And he's starting now to take a take a hold on the game and show what he's all about, which is the player he was when he got into the England squad and so forth. It's going to take a bit longer for him to gel, but he's playing at the side of an experienced player in Casemiro, and you're not going to get a better teacher than that, really, with all the trophies that Casemiro's won over his career. He's going to do what he can to pass his knowledge on and help young players like Kobe Mainu. So, I don't think there's going to be any problems with the likes of Kobe. But as I say, you got Kobe, Casemiro, and Ugarte in the midfield, and we have got other players that can step in there. Obviously, Martinez, he's played in midfield before, and obviously he played in midfield under the caretaker games of Darren Fletcher, and he proved why he's also world class. He took control of the midfield, didn't panic. His ball passing was precise. So we have got another player there if needed that can fulfil the midfield area. Um, so yeah, I don't think things are that bad with the midfield. Albeit if we could bring in somebody, as a cushion that can start off the bench should Casemiro get a red card and have to miss games or gets injured or Kobe gets injured, at least you've got somebody that you can bring off the bench that can do an half decent job. Because obviously the last thing we want to do is start dropping back on what Carrick's built up till now. And our defence, uh, big shout out to Luke Shaw. I mean, he's played every game in the Premiership this season, and I think he's done really well to keep himself fit. And he's playing half decent at the moment, and long may that continue with him. And then we've got Harry Maguire that's recently come back. We all know that Harry, he's a Man United man through and through, but he's at the age now where he has started picking up injuries. And you've always got to have that in the back of your mind that if he picks up an injury, he could be out for a number of weeks or even a couple of months, subject to what type of injury he picks up. And then there's Martinez. He's just recently come back 4 or 5 games ago from a lung injury, where he was out for most of the last season. But again, he's come back in and he's showing why he's world class and obviously the player that he is. I mean, he's made a few mistakes, but I think that just comes down to rustiness. Um, Delete on the sorry, not delete Dalat, that's been playing on the right. He's played a lot better on the right hand side. He's created a good few chances going forward and whatnot. When he was playing on the left hand side under Amrin, you're probably the same as me. Could, couldn't realise why Amrin kept playing him on the left. When he's more of a right hand sided player. But yeah, he's doing okay. And we got the likes of Yoro and Hayden Evan that can come into the fold. So again, the defence is well stacked there as well. But obviously, I think this is what INEOS look at, that we're well stacked really, and they don't want to spend. That they're going to save the money and go big in the summer. But obviously, whether they're going to get the targets that they've said they want to get, like Elliot Anderson, it's all going to depend on whether we get Champions League football. But Elliot Anderson, he could well look at the situation if the likes of Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, or any European club comes in for him that's got regular year in, year out Champions League football and think, well, that would be a better move for him. So if we don't get him, that's one of our main targets gone. Walton from Crystal Palace, he might be of the same opinion. So again, you could end up in a situation where two of your main targets have gone. And then we've got Balaba from Brighton, which are pretty confident he's going to come. We went in for him last summer, and Brighton didn't want to let him go, but terms were agreed with the player and that he wants to come to Man United. And that's probably the reason why he's had a drop off in form at Brighton. But you could probably rest assured that Man United will go back in for him in the summer. And as he's not involved in the World Cup, he's a player that we could probably get done pretty quick in June and get him bought in. In reference to Michael Carrick, he's done more than what people thought he would do with his 3 results that he's had since he's took over. Do you think he ought to have the job? Personally, I think he's got to be in the mix, but it's not really a decision that can be made at least till April. I think INEOS probably will offer him the job if he gets us into Europe, because he's already in place. He's not going to cost them any more money to bring another manager in. And I think if another manager does come in and Carrick doesn't get the job, the players are going to look at it again. Here's another manager. His tactics and training are different to Michael Carrick's. And is that going to cause a drop off again next year? Well, I hope you've liked tuning into my channel. If you'd like to press a like and press the subscribe button, I'll much appreciate it, and look forward to doing my next video, which will be on Thursday of this week. So have a great day, smash a like, press the subscribe button, and I'll see you shortly. Bye bye.